I ended my engagement with my fiancée after she asked for a break to reconnect with her ex. I sold our house and moved on. Here's my story, 27 million, sharing what's unfolded in my life recently. Until a few months ago, I believed I was set to marry my soulmate, Sarah, 26F. We'd been together for 4 years, and I thought our bond was unbreakable. But now, I'm reflecting on how I missed the signs earlier. Sarah and I met at a mutual friend's party. Her wit, confidence, and straightforward nature drew me in instantly. I'd had relationships before, but none felt as real as this one. We clicked fast, moved in together after a year, and everything seemed aligned: careers, marriage, and dreams of a family. She was a freelance illustrator, and I worked as a tech project coordinator, so our lifestyles meshed well. Life wasn't extravagant, but it was fulfilling. We'd been talking about marriage for a while, and last year I popped the question. Nothing over the top, just a quiet dinner at home. Sarah seemed ecstatic. She teared up, hugged me tightly, and said yes. That evening, we started planning our future. An autumn wedding, a small guest list, and a quaint lakeside venue. It felt like everything was coming together. Or so I thought. The warning signs were subtle at first, easy to brush off. I ignored them, not wanting to overanalyze. For instance, Sarah's excitement for wedding planning fizzled out after a few months. She was all in initially, sending me mood boards, browsing dresses, and debating whether we should have lilies or peonies as centerpieces. Then, it just stopped. When I'd ask, "Hey, have you picked your bridesmaids?" she'd dodge with, "I'm still figuring it out." The same happened with her dress, the cake, the music. Every decision we'd been thrilled about became something she delayed. "We've got time," she'd say. The wedding felt like an afterthought. I chalked it up to stress. Planning a wedding is intense, right? Plus, Sarah was swamped with work. I figured she'd come around. What I didn't see was that her disinterest wasn't about the wedding. It was about us. The real wake-up call came one night when we were out with friends. Someone suggested a silly social media game where you answer personal questions without flinching. It was fun until someone asked, if you could revisit one past relationship, which would it be? Without hesitation, Sarah said, probably Jake. Just like that. Jake. Her college ex who betrayed her trust. The room went silent. She laughed nervously and tried to backpedal, saying, I mean, not that I'd want to. It's just a big part of my history. I wanted to confront her then and there, but we were with friends, so I let it slide. Later, alone, I brought it up. What was that about Jake? Why would you pick him? She brushed it off like it was nothing. It's just a dumb game, Ethan. Don't make it a big deal, she said, smiling and changing the topic. I didn't push, not wanting to start a fight over something that might have been trivial. But it stuck with me. After that, her behavior became harder to ignore. She was glued to her phone, smiling at messages. She started giving vague excuses for canceling plans or being unavailable. I've got a ton of work to catch up on, she'd say, or, I told my mom I'd visit this weekend. The excuses weren't glaring, but they piled up. I started feeling like an afterthought. Then came the Friday night that changed everything. I got home early, excited for a cozy night with Sarah. I thought we could order takeout and watch a show. But the vibe was off when I walked in. She was on the couch, staring at her tablet, not working, just lost in thought. Hey, I'm home, I said, trying to lighten the mood. You're early, she replied, like it was an inconvenience. I ignored it, heading to the kitchen to start dinner, but the silence was heavy. Normally, she'd ask about my day or share hers. Tonight, nothing. Finally, I turned and asked, Is everything okay? She closed her tablet and looked at me. Actually, I need to talk to you about something. My stomach dropped. You know that feeling when you sense something awful is coming? That was me, standing there like a fool with a spatula in hand. I sat across from her. Okay, I said. What's up? She hesitated, then blurted it out. I've been thinking about us, and about Jake. I almost laughed from disbelief. Jake? Are you serious? What about him? She bit her lip, avoiding eye contact. I think I need time to sort things out. I want a break to see if there's still something there with him. I couldn't believe my ears. You want a break to date your ex? Are you kidding, Sarah? We're engaged. She rushed to clarify, as if it would soften the blow. It's not like that. I just need to know if I'm making the right choice with you. If it doesn't work out, I'll come back, I promise. That's when I realized how bold she was. She thought I'd wait around while she decided if I was good enough. Something shifted in me. I didn't yell or lose it. I just stared at her, wondering how I hadn't seen this coming. My fiancée just told me she wants to pause our engagement to explore things with Jake. What do you even say to that? Finally, I asked, So, What does this break look like to you? My voice was steadier than I felt. She sat up, like she'd rehearsed this. I think we need space to figure things out. I'll take time to see if my feelings for Jake are real, and you can reflect on us too. I couldn't believe her nerve. Wait, I said, leaning forward. You're saying you need to date your ex, but I'm supposed to reflect on us? What kind of twisted logic is that? Sarah sighed, like I was the unreasonable one. It's not about you doing anything wrong, Ethan. It's about me figuring out what I need. Her words sounded scripted, her eyes dodging mine. You realize this is insane, right? I said. You don't just put your fiancé on hold while you play what if with a guy who treated you terribly. Her face hardened, and I saw how determined she was. I'm not asking for permission, Ethan. I'm telling you what I need. That hit differently. I wasn't just hurt. I was furious. I stood up, pacing to calm myself. So what, Sarah? You're just going to pack up and go to Jake's? That's your plan? No, she snapped. It's not like that. I don't know what it looks like yet, but I need clarity before we go further. You owe it to yourself to know you're making the right choice, she added. You owe it to yourself? I laughed bitterly. What about what you owe me? We're engaged, Sarah. We're supposed to be building a life together, and now you're saying you need to test drive your ex to see if I'm enough? I never said you weren't enough, she shot back, her voice sharp. But if we're going to spend our lives together, I need to be sure. And I'm not right now. That was it. She wasn't just curious about Jake. She was unsure about me. After 4 years, after all our plans, she was uncertain. It hit me like a freight train. She didn't see how hurtful her request was. She thought it was logical that I'd just wait while she sorted out her nonsense. I stopped pacing and looked at her. Really looked. Fine, I said, my voice flat. Take your break. She blinked, caught off guard by my quick agreement. Ethan, I'm not trying to hurt you. I just need space to figure things out. I nodded, keeping my face neutral. Okay, if that's what you need. She hesitated like she expected me to beg or fight for her. When I didn't, she got up, grabbed her tablet, and mumbled, I'll stay at my mom's for a while. This isn't permanent. We'll talk after I've had time. Sure, I said simply. She stared, unsure how to respond, then went to the bedroom. I heard her packing, tossing things into a bag. I stayed calm on the couch, but my mind was racing. If she wants a break, fine. Let her have it. Minutes later, the front door clicked shut. She was gone, probably thinking she'd left me to stew and wait. She had no clue I wasn't going to sit idly by. She could chase her fantasy, but I had my own plans now. I'll update you once things are in motion. This won't end how she expects. Planning. Man, you know she's going to come crawling back when things crash with Jake, right? My friend Lucas pointed out. He was spot on. The more we talked, the clearer it became that I had to take charge. This wasn't about revenge. It was about reclaiming my life. I started with the house. Sarah seems to forget it's in my name alone. She loved treating it as ours, always going on about the drapes and wall colors she picked, but I'm the one covering the mortgage. I called a realtor Monday morning. They came by, assessed the place, and we listed it immediately. The market in our area is booming, and we've already got multiple interested buyers. Sarah has no idea. She probably thinks I'm moping in our house, waiting for her to make up her mind. Next, I started cutting her out of my life. Those live love, laugh signs she loved, gone. The fancy throw pillows she insisted on, donated. Her clothes and stuff she left behind, I boxed them up carefully. But here's where I got smart. Instead of dropping her things at her mom's or letting her pick them up, I hired movers. They delivered everything to her mom's with a brief note. Here's your stuff. Best of luck with Jake. Some might call it petty, but I see it as efficient. She wanted space to figure things out? She's got it, literally. The best part came when mutual friends started asking questions. Instead of playing the victim or bad-mouthing her, I told the truth. Sarah decided she needed to explore things with her ex before committing to marriage. I decided I deserve better than being a fallback. You should see how people react to that. No drama, no gossip, just facts. It's wild how fast the narrative shifts when you don't try to control it. I've also been making moves at work. I applied for a transfer to our West Coast branch, something I'd been eyeing for a while. If the house sells, which looks likely, and I get this job, I'm starting fresh across the country. Sarah's been texting me this week, starting with casual messages like, "Hope you're okay," and escalating to panic when she realized I was moving on instead of waiting. Yesterday, she freaked out when her mom told her about the boxes. "What are you doing? Why are you acting like we're done?" My reply was short. "Because we are done, Sarah. You made your choice, and I'm making mine." She cried, saying she just needed time to think. that I was being too hasty, that this wasn't what she meant by a break. What did you expect? I asked. That I'd wait like a loyal dog while you tested your ex? That's not how this works. But what if I realize you're the one? She sobbed. Then you'll have learned not to take people for granted, I said, hanging up. The strange thing, I'm not angry anymore. I feel free. Every box I pack, every step I take, feels like I'm rediscovering parts of myself I didn't know I'd lost. Lucas stopped by yesterday to help pack. He noticed the change. You seem different, he said. More driven. He's right. I am different. When Sarah first said she wanted to explore things with Jake, it felt like my world was crumbling. Now I see it wasn't my world. It was the illusion I'd been living in, falling apart. I've got more plans, but I'll save them for the next update. For now, here's my takeaway. When someone treats you like an option, the best response is to remove yourself from their choices entirely. Stay tuned. This story's not over, and I suspect Sarah's break to figure things out isn't going as she hoped. Update 2. Thanks for the support on my last update. Things have ramped up, and I'm ready to share how it's all unfolding. Remember that West Coast job? I got it. Perfect timing. The house is under contract. Closing next month. But that's just the start. What's really juicy is how Sarah's Jake experiment is playing out. Word from mutual friends is that their rekindled romance isn't the dream she imagined. Apparently, Jake hasn't changed much in 4 years. Still the unreliable guy who broke her trust in college. Here's where it gets interesting. Sarah's been trying to spin the story on social media, posting vague, uplifting quotes about self-discovery and following your heart. So I decided to play her game, but smarter. I made one simple post. Big life update. Thrilled to share I've accepted a job in San Francisco. Sometimes one door closing means better ones open. Excited for what's next. The reactions flooded in. Congratulations, questions about the move, and naturally, curiosity about Sarah. I kept my responses straightforward. We're no longer together. She wanted to explore other paths, so I'm exploring mine. That sparked a ripple effect in our social circle. Those friends who were on the fence, seeing me handle this with dignity while Sarah posts cryptic relationship quotes, shifted the vibe entirely. Then came the professional fallout. Sarah's freelance illustration gigs rely heavily on referrals and networking. A mutual contact, Emma, 29F, who often sent clients Sarah's way, reached out. Over coffee, she said, I need the truth. Sarah's saying you're on a temporary break to grow separately, but something's off. I told her about Sarah's plan to reconnect with Jake. Emma's reaction said it all. She was stunned. By week's end, several of Sarah's potential clients delayed their projects with her, not because I trashed her, but because who trusts someone who treats commitment so casually? Sarah felt the shift. Her texts grew more desperate. Why are you telling people about Jake? You're ruining my career. This isn't fair. I just needed time. My response to her last message. You got your time and space. What I do with mine isn't your concern anymore. Then came the pivotal moment. Jake, in his infinite brilliance, posted a photo of them at the restaurant where Sarah and I had our first date. It was clear she was trying to relive our past with him. It was pathetic and almost funny. The post was deleted quickly, but the damage was done. Friends saw it, and the few still backing Sarah's self-discovery story lost respect for her. Even her sister reached out. I'm so sorry for how she's acting. You deserve better. The best part? I didn't need to be vindictive. I just lived my life openly and honestly while Sarah tried to play both sides. Truth has a way of surfacing. She showed up at my office yesterday. Jake had already shown his true colors, flirting with others, being untrustworthy, same old story. She was in tears. I messed up, she sobbed. I was scared of committing. I thought I needed to see if there was something better, but I was wrong. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. I looked at her calmly. No, Sarah. The best thing that happened to me was you revealing who you really are before we got married. She tried to plead, counseling, rebuilding trust, fixing things. I shook my head. You don't get it. This isn't about Jake anymore. It's about you thinking you could keep me as a backup while you explored. That's not love. That's convenience. She left, devastated. But I felt lighter than ever. The house closes next week, my stuff's mostly packed, and my San Francisco life starts in a month. Some people think I'm being too harsh. Everyone messes up, they say. But this wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. Every text to Jake, every lie about where she was, every moment she planned to pause our relationship, those were choices. I'll update again after the move. For now, my lesson. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even. It's getting better, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Update 3. Thanks for following my journey. This is my final update, with some exciting developments to share. San Francisco is everything I hoped for. My new place has an incredible view of the bay, and the tech scene here is electric. My new team at work is amazing. Being around people who value progress over drama is refreshing. But let's wrap up what happened back home. The house sale went smoothly, fetching above asking price. Sarah's reaction via mutual friends was telling. She didn't believe I'd sold it until she drove by and saw the new owners settling in. Here's where it gets wild. Remember Jake? He messaged me, of all people, claiming he never meant to stir trouble, and that Sarah reached out to him months before her break request. She'd been planning this for a while, setting up her fallback plan. The irony? Jake ended things with her, saying, if she could do this to you, she could do it to anyone. Sarah's professional life took a hit. Her lined-up clients, most found other illustrators, not because I spread rumors, but because word travels in the industry. One major client even contacted me. We heard about the engagement. We need someone reliable for long-term projects. Know any good designers? I recommended a skilled colleague who landed the gig. Karma, I guess. Sarah's social media spiral was something else. Sad quotes about losing love, then angry posts about toxic people who can't handle growth, followed by desperate attempts to seem happy. She announced starting her own studio, only to start job hunting 3 days later. Her sister reached out last week. Sarah's been staying with their parents, claiming she needs time to heal from our breakup. Her sister said, she really thought you'd wait. Selling the house and moving shattered her fantasy. The most satisfying moment came during a video call with old friends. They shared local gossip, including how Sarah was seen at a cafe, fumbling to explain to a client why her portfolio site was down. She forgot I'd set it up and maintained it. She couldn't renew the hosting when it lapsed. Not my problem anymore. My new life is taking shape. I joined a hiking group, started French lessons, and adopted a dog named Apollo from a local shelter. He's a better companion than my ex. The tech community here is welcoming. I even got invited to speak at a coding conference, something I wouldn't have done back home. It's incredible what you can achieve without dead weight. One last interaction with Sarah. She emailed, asking for old photos from our shared cloud. I'd already saved what I wanted and closed the account weeks ago. Her email read, I know you're trying to erase me, but you can't erase our memories. Those 4 years meant something. My reply, you're right. They taught me what I don't want in a partner. Thanks for the lesson. Some friends think I'm too harsh, that I should forgive her moment of doubt. But it wasn't a moment. It was a deliberate plan to keep me as a safety net while she chased something she thought was better. The biggest lesson? Sometimes the worst moments lead to the best outcomes. If Sarah hadn't shown her true self, I might have married her, only to discover her real character later, maybe with kids involved. Instead, I'm in a vibrant city with a great job, new friends, and hope for the future. The pain of betrayal has turned into gratitude for dodging a bullet. Thanks to everyone who followed along and offered advice. Your support kept me grounded when I could have wavered. To anyone in a similar spot, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't wait for them to change their mind about you. Life's too short to be a backup plan. Sometimes, the best move is to walk away and build a better life. This chapter's closed, and I'm thrilled for the next one. Take care, and thanks for everything.